Once again, good evening, everybody, as we are back for another round of the Speed Racing Series presented by Middle Road Energy. It's time for us to tackle the track too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway, for round number 7. It's going to be a tough battle ahead for these drivers, not just with each other, but more importantly, with the track. But we're definitely looking forward to it. Over at Richmond for round 6, it was Shade Eves picking up his career first win, allowing him to get a 10-position jump in the point standings. A big night for him and the New Shade Industries crew. For the points lead, Major Robinson and Vince Freeze are shaping up to be the two early title favorites, as they're only separated by just 9 points going into this race. Minus 44 back is Jesse Turner, while everybody else is 100 or more points behind. So I have to keep an eye on those three and see how much further they can get ahead. But this is Darlington, folks. Anything can be expected. Time to take you to the green. Daytona is an important race to win. Indianapolis is an important race to win. But I say if you're able to score a win here at Darlington, it is just as noble of a way to get your name remembered in the record books forever. Pace car heads for the pits. Luke Martin, who's having an awful start to the season, he's able to pick up the pole. Meanwhile, the driver who won this race last season, RJ Bishop, is to his outside. Get your stripe counter ready, everybody, and let's get to the action. Here we go for our second crown jewel race of the season. It's a close contest coming to the stride. Give lap 1 to Luke Martin, the pole sitter. But you got the number 86 Ford Fusion of Lane Sanders looking to make a charge down to the inside. Rolling through turns 1 and 2. It's a tight, precarious corner. That is right there. That 86 is holding his own pretty well to the inside of Martin's Ford Fusion right above him. Bishop falls back to third. He's going to get to the inside right there and maybe lend assistance to Sanders. Off at turn 4, Martin trying to use the outside. Sanders will get credit for leading the second lap, as it's the 86, the 54, the 98, 1 through 3. For fourth place, here comes the points leader, Major Robinson, a teammate to Lane Sanders in that 85 ride. And you also got Bishop's teammate, Zachary Fitzwater, in the 7, making some noise right here as well. Also, the 16, Season 1 winner here, Charles Sanford, in that McDonald's ride. Also looking pretty strong, and also Zayden Davidson. 2 times he's been able to get to victory lane this season, trying to make it a third one. He's following Robinson, and up ahead, Fitzwater into the wall in turn 2, and he can't get off of it. Well, there you go, people. Looks like Fitzwater will get credit with the first Darlington stripe of the evening, and I'm sure he is far from the only car that is going to slide up against these safer barriers here around this racetrack. They can definitely be unforgiving if you're not careful enough. And this is why winning at this place is so important. You need to be smart with the track and race it well, just like you race your competition. Fortunately for Fitzwater, he seems to be all right after that. He's still in 4th place, running after Bishop. But up ahead, it's the 54 Martin chasing the 86 of Sanders down through 3 and 4. Back here around the 19th position is where you find our series' newest winner, Shade Eves, in that 47 Toyota Camry. And what a happy first win he was able to achieve out at Richmond after trying for so long. But like I said, that helped him jump up 10 positions in the points. And right now he's feeling the best around everybody here at Darlington. But he just lost the 19th position to DJ Curtis as he's following him through the corner. Oh, and up against the wall is the 80 of Wilson. And he gets into it again. That's really close. Oh, and I see Sean Ard in the background. He also got a taste of the turn 2 wall as well. Tough situation for both Wilson and Ard. And that's going to be to the benefit of DJ Curtis as well as Eves, as there's that green number 80 of Winston Wilson carrying Holiday Inn for the first time on that car. You got Austin Rogers in the mix, as well as Saber Fox. And anyway, for Shade Eves, he'll look to hopefully have a clean night here and hopefully get another good finish and keep his momentum rolling his way. A battle for position inside the top 10 going through 1 and 2. Aiden Smith in the 89 to the outside of Zayden Davidson. This is a fight for the 7th position. And there goes the 89 riding around the top side to get ahead of Davidson. Aiden Smith also having a good season, still hanging around in the top 10 in points, just like Davidson. Ellison's had a rough couple of stretches in the 61 right here. He went on his roof at Kansas and also finished outside the top 20 at Richmond. So James Ellison hoping for a comeback, along with Logan Cloud. Matter of fact, the 20 and the 61 ended up getting together in the same incident, along with Mac Johnson right here, who's running an 11th for the Nova Sport team. All three of these guys ended up getting into the same crash at Richmond, so they're hoping for a rebound. And you also got Charles Sanford looking to attack the 85 of Robinson. We'll pay attention to this battle as they charge down into the corner. The top three have all scooted away. Now it's Sanford and Robinson. You know, Sanford, he'd love to get a second trophy here at Darlington, but that inside out of turn number 2, not really the favorable line around the track right there, and Robinson's going to stay ahead, but Smith, as well as Davidson, they're going to pounce on the 16 as the 35 and the 89 are side-by-side again. We almost just had an accident a lap or so ago. The 27 of Hergel Alonso, he's going to slide up into the wall right here, and watch what happens next. Here comes the 18 of Sean Ard, gets into Alonso, and way down into the inside wall goes the 18. So another tough break for Sean Ard. That's 2 rough encounters that he's had so far tonight. And we're only 15, 16 laps into this race. And if it keeps going this way, I mean, Sean Ard, he's got an uphill climb as it is, trying to get past these cars, but it definitely doesn't make matters better by getting into the wall like this. And you see Benedict Murdo, he's having a rough time as well, getting into the wall as well and losing more positions, falling way to the back. Oh, and out of turn 4, Jacob Holtz gets a bad exit, and here come all these drivers swarming to his inside. Angelo Del Vecchio, Griffin Lepo McDermott, and Eric Sadler, they all go to the inside of the 03. Oh, as I see the 31 of Alan Muccioli sliding up into the wall, and he is another victim of the stripe. All these drivers having encounters with the wall early on at Darlington, as you see Alan Muccioli and his Stormbreak teammate Cody Goforth running together, but Alan Muccioli debuted at Richmond with a P36, but is struggling to keep the car clean here in the early portion at Darlington. We still have over 100 laps to go right here. Now Del Vecchio in the 66. She now gets a good taste of that Darlington wall. I told you, folks, we were going to expect this to happen to a lot of drivers tonight, and Del Vecchio just became the newest one, as she's going to lose a handful of positions as well to the 5 right here of Alex Daniels, making his second ever start in the series, scoring an impressive 19th out of California for his debut as well as the team. So Daniels getting another chance to showcase his skills, and he's going to play it safe at the inside of turn number 2 and go to the inside, as him and the 66 are fighting for 33rd on the track. Now here comes Angel Gutierrez to pit road in the 51 ride. As you see, he's made significant wall contact somewhere, and that's going to be a bitter pill to swallow for him and the Renegade Gutierrez team, as his pit crew's going to go to work, put some new tires on that car, and fix that heavy right side damage, as I'm sure that's not making the handling on that car good at all. But this will definitely make that 51 lose a lap, maybe 2, as his team finally is sending him away. And the hits just keep on coming. Scott Roush now gets into the wall right there, and whoa, look at how sideways that 50 car gets. And finally, he gets away from the wall, but look at all those positions that he's going to lose. He's definitely going to fall outside the top 30 now, as he gets in line behind Angelo Del Vecchio, but Roush, far from being where his other 3 teammates are, outside the top 30, and this is a rough position for Roush that he's in. He was able to get second at Richmond. He was very, very close to a win. Just wasn't meant to be for him that night, but now he's having a rough endurance here at Darlington, as we still have a lot of this race left to go, but the 50 car still has a lot of time to make a recovery. Venturing back up here to the front, RJ Bishop has gotten around Luke Martin for the second position, so it's now his turn to chase the 86 of Sanders down as he crosses the line officially. 100 laps remaining here at Darlington, but Sanders has held the lead since lap number 2. He had an excellent night at Richmond, leading the most laps out there, but got put 3 wide on one of the restarts, faded into traffic, and he can only come back to finish 8th. But Sanders hoping to prevent that situation tonight and just keep that 86 up front in the clean air. And Bishop's trying to chase him. Martin's in 3rd, Zachary Fitzwater 4th. Here's Charles Sanford, who initially crossed the line in 4th at Richmond, but if you followed along with the Discord, it was determined that his car failed post-race inspection, and Joseph Strigley Racing ended up losing their appeal, and Samper ended up getting disqualified from his 4th place finish down to finish 43rd. So a tough blow to an even tougher season for Joseph Strigley Racing, still not being able to find victory lane yet. But here's Charles Samper trying to bounce back from that and be in the conversation for the win this evening. Logan Cloud trying to improve a position in that number 20 machine, trying to go underneath James Ellison, but he can't quite make it stick on the inside in 1 and 2. He's now going to fall into the hands of Christian Vargas, who we haven't mentioned yet tonight. But Vargas running a strong 11th. Right here, you got Jesse Turner, who's 3rd in the points on looking this battle in 12th position. Christian Vargas, he was able to pick up a decent top 15 at Richmond, but he wants to join his teammates Sanders and Robinson up in the lead. You got his other teammate Griffin Lepo McDermott running in 25th, so Vargas the middleman for Spa. Here's Turner and Vince Freeze right here, who I mentioned are the top 3 in the points tonight, so the 94 and the 21 looking to have great nights, but their main points contender, Major Robinson, running in 7th right now. But as the rest of the top 20 goes, they pretty much stabilized. Here's Mac Johnson running by himself in the 14th position. Your Richmond winner Shady's in 15th. Then you got DJ Curtis, Kyle Rigger back with the Doritos colors on that 2 car. And you got Zachary DeLello, Joseph Strigley, Saber Fox, and there's Louis Dubois in 21st. So he's right outside the cusp of the top 20 as Nick Breeding's following him. Now Lane Sanders is going to have a challenge on his hands. He's got a couple lap cars he's got to get by. The 44 of Benedict Murdo, the 84 of Alexander Rowe, 41st and 42nd. And the 86 has to carefully choose where he's going to go, or else that 98 of Bishop is going to get right all over him. And right there, the 98 all over the rear bumper of the 86 now. Sanders has to make this move quick. And there goes Murdo. He's being courteous. He's going to let the 86 go low. And Sanders is going to get the run out the corner. Now they're going to approach the 84 of Rowe right here, which this is the 2nd race that the 84 team has made all season. Good job by them for qualifying. And now Sanders, he's going to get by Alexander Rowe. And now it's Bishop's turn to get by the 44 and the 84. But this is also going to draw in Martin and Fitzwater and possibly Sanford. And there go the leaders, all going by these lap cars on the inside. Great job by Rowe and Murdo to be aware that the faster cars are coming, and the best thing to do is just let them go by and they can race their own race. And now we got the 98 of Bishop to the inside of Sanders right here, but I think Sanders has the preferred line off of the corner, and he's going to get it. As the top 3 is pulled away, Fitzwater still has not been able to clear both those lap cars as of now. He's got the 84 of Rowe ahead of him. He's going to jump to his inside. But Aiden Smith, who's now up into the top 5, he's going to chase the 7. Charles Samper, Major Robinson, James Ellison has also crept up into the picture. Now the 7 and the 89, both going to get to the inside of Rowe. Looks like they'll get by him right there. But the struggling of getting around Rowe and Murdo has also brought new players into the equation. You can also consider Zayden Davidson, Christian Vargas, Logan Cloud, Vince Freeze, and Jesse Turner, who is in 13th. So at least have the top 13 cars all within a blanket around each other, but still the 44 and the 84 taking the courteous road and trying to stay as much out of the way as possible, but they can only do so much. Now it's Robinson's turn to work with Murdo and Rowe and make quick work of them. Meanwhile, as that's all taking place, the top 3 have it on easy mode right now, trying to expand the distance over all the battling that's going on behind them. But it's 2 Fords and a Dodge. Sanders, Martin, and Bishop. They're over 2 seconds ahead of Fitzwater right there. But it's going to be a little while before they catch these drivers like Wayne Benning, Sean Ard, and Edward Ziemba. But right now they are far, far away from 4th place on down, as I actually see the 86 of Sanders. He's making an indication to pit right here on lap 53. And yes, that is what he's going to do. Sanders has made the call. He's saying, I've had enough. I need some new tires and fuel in this thing right away. And his team says, aye, aye, you can come on in. We'll fix you up and get you going. But it's possible the green flag pit stop cycle might be starting here with Lane Sanders. Looks like Bishop and Martin will also follow suit. Here they come to the pits on lap 54, but the 7 of Fitzwater, he's going to elect to stay out here, get 1 lap led, and get a bonus point for it. You also got several other lead lap cars staying out, like Ellison, Robinson, Vargas, and Turner, and a lot more too. Now what's it going to be for Fitzwater here? Looks like he's also slowing down to pit on lap 55. He now elects to come to the pits, but the 81 and the 94 staying out along with the 20. So Vargas, Turner, and Cloud looks like they're going to go for the extreme overcut strategy as Fitzwater brings in drivers like Robinson, Ellison, Freeze, and Curtis. Now it's these 3 Fords who have the top 3 spots, but I don't think that's going to last long. Here comes Vargas, Turner, and Cloud on lap 56, and I believe they will be the last drivers to come in for green flag stops. Well, I stand corrected. Actually, Nick Breeding, he will also join them as well in the 00. We're just going to have to see how they will all shake out, as there's the 86 of Sanders. He was able to get the better stop over the 98 and the 54. And we'll have to see when the scoreboard updates, as Sanders looks like he may be the big beneficiary of this pit cycle. Now Sanders makes his way out of turn number 4, going to the inside of Angel Gutierrez. But as he crosses the line right here, the leaderboard should reset. And yes, indeed, car 86 back to the top here at Darlington. Sanders will keep the lead after this green flag pit stop cycle. His lead over the 98 of Bishop, just over a second. That's how far Bishop is back behind him. You see Cody Goforth coming out of the pits. But way back here, 4 seconds behind in third is Martin. Then you got Sanford in fourth, Aiden Smith in fifth. Good run by that newly sponsored 89 car with Popeyes on the car for the first time. Zayden Davidson cycles out in sixth. Then you got Zachary Fitzwater in seventh with Matt Johnson hot on his tail. Real good run by this 88 Novasport team. They're definitely got some good rhythm going on. Ninth place, right there is James Ellison, and then Shade Eves looking to go for back-to-back wins. So far on the right track to doing that. He is now in 10th. Oh no, blowing up on the back straightaway is Christian Vargas. The 81 car trailing a lot of smoke out of that Geico Ford Fusion. Oh, what a bitter pill this is for him to swallow. He was running in 13th when this happened, doing real solid this first half of the race. But now that 81 crew has bigger problems to worry about, and this is going to kill Vargas's good momentum that he had going, and with nobody else out, that's likely going to be the 81's night done right there, and he'll finish P43 from what it seems, as he's going to put that thing to a stop and retire. Well, that news has to be concerning right there for all the Spa drivers, especially your leader, Lane Sanders, as their teammate has dropped out of the race with a blown engine. So the 86, the 85, and the 90 were still remaining in the race. Better be a little more cautious, even though Sanders really can't do that right now. He's showing the way. Something we'll have to keep an eye on. We'll have to see if the Spa cars can last till the end without any issue. But anyway, he still maintains his lead over Bishop right here as he goes by the 6 of Benning. Third place, there's Martin right there ahead of Sanford. And then Smith, Davidson, Fitzwater. You got Ellison and Johnson and Eves right there on the battle for 8th. But we'll keep going by the top 10 as we are officially halfway done here at Darlington. 11th is the 2 of Kyle Rigger. Solid run by him and the 2 crew. Points leader Major Robinson right now in 12th. You got Joseph Strigley and DJ Curtis battling for 13th. Holding on to 15th is Jesse Turner, along with Vince Freeze and Zachary DeLello. The 94 and the 21 right now losing ground to the points leader ahead of them. But 17th place, Logan Cloud making a move. And then you got Griffin Lapo McDermott, Saber Fox, and Louis Dubois rounding out the top 20. Oh, there's contact! And the 92 gets shoved into the wall on the front straightaway. Oh, a very near accident for Louis Dubois. And I'm glad that didn't collect more cars and it didn't turn into a worse state. But Louis Dubois running in the top 20 has near disaster occur to him on lap 66. Great save, though. At least he's still trooping on. But now that left side damage on that 92, we'll have to see how bad that is over the long course of the race if this race stays green. And so far, the 92 still going strong, though, holding P21 over Eric Sadler. Let's actually take another look at Louis Dubois' close car right here. Going through turns 3 and 4, they run up on a bunch of slower cars to the outside. Oh, and it looks like Murdo hooks Muccioli down into Fox and Dubois. and then Dubois ends up making contact with the inside wall. Thankfully, didn't end up into a much worse accident, but still not what Dubois desired at all. I tell you what, folks, RJ Bishop has been doing a terrific job staying in the tire tracks of Lane Sanders, even closing down on him a little bit. He was a quarter of a second back last time at the line, and he sees an opportunity to go down low right here in 3 and 4. RJ Bishop looking to dethrone the lead from that 86 car. Sanders leads another straight lap. We'll have to see how beneficial this inside line is to RJ, as all the 86 slides up into the wall, actually. And that could be the opportunity that Bishop has been looking for. Oh no, he blows up! Coming off of turn number 2, RJ Bishop up in smoke right after he takes the lead. And Sanders is going to go back by him in the 86. A major shakeup here on lap 71. RJ Bishop, right after making the pass for the lead on Lane Sanders, is going to be frustrated with this outcome instead. He was looking so good tonight, that Reese's Dodge was. And Ramblers' hopes of getting a crown jewel win is going to have to wait another day, it seems. Bishop will join Christian Vargas in the garage, 42nd place. And the defending champ's hopes of going for a repeat here in Darlington Raceway is not going to happen anymore. Well, Sanders can breathe a little bit easier now, knowing that one of his strongest competitors is now out of the running. And he now has a healthy lead over Martin and Sanford, over a second and a half ahead. And he also has 3 lap cars to serve as a cushion between the 54 and the 16. You got Goforth, Benning, and Alonso serving that role. Oh, as a matter of fact, here's Sanford making the pass on Martin, and he's going to clear him through 1 and 2. And Sanford will go up to second. It's been 3 seasons since Sanford has went to victory lane here at Darlington, and he'd love to do it for a second time. And that would be such great redemption after getting that disqualification at Richmond. I mean, even this is a good enough comeback, but of course, he wants 1 spot better. He's trying to work the margin down, but he lost a little bit of time trying to pass Martin. But both these Season 1 elites looking to chase the other one, the inaugural winner of the series. You got Cody Goforth right there in the free pass position in 30th, which he's going to try and maybe take away from the 86. I think Goforth may actually have slightly fresher tires. So Cody Goforth, the 3rd place finisher at Daytona, trying to get his lap back. Looks like he will accomplish that. He'll clear Sanders, and that's going to give the courtesy pass now to the 27 of Alonso. Side-by-side for a position in the top 10, Shade Eves continues his march upward, going by James Ellison in the 61 as he's got Edward Ziemba blocking him off the corner. Oh, but you see this 47 didn't get as good of an exit. He also got the 66 of Angelo Del Vecchio in play. Ziemba 33rd, Del Vecchio 40th, and as a matter of fact, you got 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all together on the track in this little pack. As a matter of fact, Ellison and Robinson both going to go to the inside of the 75 and dispose of him quickly. But how about Eves trying to make it back-to-back top 10s? He is still about 8 seconds off of Sanders, but at least this is a good showing right here, as there's Ellison and Johnson going by the 85 of Robinson, who loses momentum on the back straightaway. Oh, watch out, the leader, Lane Sanders, is up into the wall again in 2. A big-time mistake by the 86, and here comes Sanford in the 16, bearing towards him on the backstretch. Side-by-side for the race lead. This will be Sanford's first taste of the lead all night long. And what a big mistake that was by Lane Sanders, getting up into the wall, and it's going to allow the 16 to go by. Sanford now gets a lap lead here in round number 7. And it's now going to be his job to hold it as long as possible. Sanders, I'm sure he's probably furious inside that helmet, knowing he really messed up when he didn't really have to, getting up into the outside wall. And now Luke Martin has drawn on the 2 of them as well. The 16, the 86, the 54, a pair of Fords and a Chevy, but it's the Chevy that leads them both. Meanwhile, Sergio Alonso, wonder what kind of a factor he will play, as he is the final car on the lead lap. Sanders still trying to hang tight with Sanford, trying to recover that mistake that he made a few laps ago while he lost the lead. But Sanford says, no problemo, senor, thank you very much. And he's going to try and keep the lead here as long as he can. In the meantime, the battle for 6th place rages on. Shade Eves has just taken that spot now away from Aiden Smith. And now it's Smith's turn to hold off these other cats inside the top 10 who want to get them for the 7th position. Robinson, Ellison, Johnson, Rigger, Strigley, and Turner. Problem for them is they got the lap 66 of Delvecchio in their way. I mean, it's not really Delvecchio's fault. She's trying to just do her best to not be an obstacle for these lead lap cars, but she's got to get around this racetrack too. But these other guys want to get around that 66 quickly. But it's Eves up to 6th. Smith holds on for 7th, followed by Ellison, Robinson, and Johnson, the top 10. And Robinson doing exactly what he needs to do to stay ahead of the 21 of Freeze and the 94 of Turner, who are right behind him in the points. Matter of fact, where is Freeze? There he is in 14th. You can tell he's gotten a piece of the wall at some point tonight. But here he is trying to keep DJ Curtis and Griffin Lampo McDermott from overtaking him. But Freeze and the 21 team just missed the mark here tonight. They haven't quite figured it out as well as his other teammates have. But Turner's got a chance to maybe gain a position or two from Robinson. Still got a long way to go as Delvecchio and Ellison are side by side. But Delvecchio, being a teammate of the 61, she's going to let him go on by her, no issue. Lane Sanders dragging the wall again in turn number 2. What are you doing? And that's likely going to cost him the 2nd position to Martin, as there goes Luke Martin on by. Man, I tell you what, Lane Sanders, he's just trying so hard to stay with Charles Sanford, and he's just overstepping that boundary ever so slightly. And for the 2nd time, we recall that 86 has gotten into the wall. Now Martin is up into 2nd. Now it's his job to chase that 16 down, although both these guys are about a 2nd behind. Meanwhile, Hergel Alonso still running in 31st, doing a pretty decent job staying ahead of Sanford on the lead lap. Now that the tires have worn down a little bit, it's getting a little harder to pass, as Alonso's going to make Sanford work for it if he wants to put that 27 lap down. Other lap cars in the distance, here's Alex Daniels doing a solid job in the top 30, along with Benedict Murdo, who's already a lap down, trying to avoid going 2 down, and then Cody Goforth. But then, Sanford must have had a bad exit off of 2. Now here comes the 54, closing in rapidly. That is the gift that Martin needed. And to Sanders' dismay, this is just going to allow him to fall even further behind. But Martin with a whale of a run off of 2 that time. Didn't quite get the opportunity to pass the 16 that time, but he'll have to look for a later chance. Luke Martin in that 54 has been doing a solid job reeling in Charles Sanford little by little. And for Sanford, it's about to get even worse because we got 3 lap cars dead ahead of the 16. Alonso in the 27, Alex Daniels in the 5, and the 44, Benedict Murdo. The 5 and the 27 are battling for position. Side by side. As the 44 Murdo gets into the wall again. That's not the first time we've seen him do that this evening. Murdo having an especially rough trip here to Darlington Raceway. He's hoping to just make it to the end of the finish okay. Lane Sanders trying to draw back even thanks to that happening. But what will Martin do as Sanford is still stuck behind the 5 of Daniels, who's making his 2nd ever start in the series? Alonso was able to get around the 5, so it's now the 5 of Daniels who's on the bubble of going a lap down. How long will Sanford and Martin be content to remain like this? Like I mentioned, these tires are getting worn out. It's getting extremely tough to pass. It's been about 45, 50 laps since these guys pitted. If they stay green, who's to say we won't have even more green flag pit stops coming up? But I see back there in the 4th spot, don't count out Zachary Fitzwater. The longer that the 3 leaders get held up, Fitzwater may also have a say on who wins this race as he tries to chase down the top 3. And problems for the 6 of Wayne Benning. His engine has now grenaded on the inside of turn number 4. He's going to choose to stay on the track here. This could draw a caution flag, but what a shame for him. He was going to be in the courtesy pass position before this happened, doing a fine job, and he has come to a stop. Is that going to be a caution? Yes, it is. I see the pace car out with its lights on. And on lap 101, finally a yellow flag comes out at Darlington Raceway. Off of turn 4 come the leaders. Sanford will retain the lead over Martin, Sanders, and Fitzwater, and Davidson in 5th. But what a shame for that number 6 Harmon Benning Peterson crew. So close to making it to the end clean, but sadly their engine just couldn't go all the way. But now with less than 30 laps to go, we're going to have ourselves a late race restart as looks like the leaders are going to make pit stops. Here comes Sanford, Martin, and the rest of the lead lap cars here on 103 to make their final pit stops of the night, possibly. A crown jewel win here in Season 4 is at stake, and it can and will be determined by how well your pit crew does for you or how poorly they do for you. You got to execute. As Martin's car gets 4 new tires on it, he will not be able to beat the 16 off pit road. It'll be Sanford, Martin, Sanders, Fitzwater, and Davidson, the top 5, so that basically still remains the same as everybody else pulls away. Unfortunate for the 6 of Wayne Benning to draw this caution, but he's going to be out of this race in P41 with Bishop and Vargas. But we have not had a yellow for an incident tonight, as we are just about at 25 laps to go. Anything can still happen. The aggression levels, I'm sure, are going to ramp up from here on out. But Sanford and Martin lead us back to green on lap 106. There they go again. Sanford up top, but you got Sanders in the 86 on the bottom, who's led the most laps tonight. He's trying to still remain strong and redeem his mistakes from earlier in the race. He's got Davidson behind him trying to push along, but that 16 is just rolling too good on the top side of the track right now. And now he's going to easily increase that gap by 3 or 4 car lengths over the 54. Zachary Fitzwater trying to charge to the outside of Sanders. Shade Eves, what would it would be for him to get 2 straight wins like Zayden Davidson did for rounds 4 and 5. That is his mission as well. He's trying to follow the 7. You got the points leader, Major Robinson, behind him, looking to have another straight top 10. Oh, smoke coming out of the 7 of Fitzwater. His engine has gone on lap 108, and he's holding up the entire rest of the pack. Oh, I feel so sorry for everybody that gets stuck behind him. He's still not completely out of the way. And how everybody did not plow into the back of the 7 is a total mystery. But Fitzwater's dreams of victory here at Darlington are now dashed. Disaster for Rambler Racing. That's the second car of theirs to blow up while running inside the top 5. 2 rough races and 3 goes. That's tough for him. But meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead on our hands. The 54 and the 16 side by side. Where did this momentum from Martin come from? And at the end of this lap, Martin is going to become your new leader. What a chaotic sequence of events here in the closing laps. Now it's Martin who has the advantage over the 16. The 86 of Sanders in 3rd, Davidson in 4th, James Ellison 5th, and they are a sizable distance ahead of everybody else. You see how far spread out the pack got because of them getting held up by Fitzwater. But we got new faces up here in the top 10. Aiden Smith, Cody Lamas, Saber Fox, who's searching for her second ever top 10 in her whole career. Eric Sadler, Daniel Boyles, 2 of the rookie contenders. You also got Logan Cloud, Derek Hamill, another rookie, the Phoenix winner, Jacob Puholtz, and Louis Dubois. These drivers benefited greatly from the 7 having those issues. And they now have solid chances to get good runs here this evening. Points leader Major Robinson was one of those drivers that were badly affected by getting slowed up behind Fitzwater's engine. He is now fallen back to 16th, and he only has 15 more laps to maybe wrestle his way up to a top 10 finish again. Same thing goes for 3rd place point man Jesse Turner, right behind the 85 and 17th. And how about the 2nd place point man Vince Freeze? Where's he? There he is all the way back in the 25th position. So the rough, woeful night for Rambler Racing just echoes on. Freeze hanging onto a top 25 spot. Scott Roush not much better in 32nd, 1 lap down. So this is going to be a night to forget for the Rambler team, but you also see drivers like Alex Daniels, Sean Ard, Zachary DeLello, Cody Goforth, Austin Rogers right here. I think Alan Muccioli's a lap down, and Matthew Hubert, he's the last car on the lead lap at 31st. But many of the top points dogs are running really rough right now and don't have a lot of time to make up more spots. But the 85 just got by the 47 of Eves, so that's hopeful for him. I mean, that 85 car has been good most of this night, so maybe he'll work on Dubois, Puholtz, and Hamill for more spots. Going back up to the 54, Martin, he has been able to grow his lead even more over the 16, almost up to a full second now, as he's going to approach the lap car of Angel Gutierrez, the last car running on track right now. But Martin's going to get by the 51, no problems. He only got 9 laps to go. And with us running about 27-second lap times, there's only so many minutes that Sanford can work something out to catch Martin. He's got to get around the 51 car as well. You see battling in the top 5 happening. You see Sanders and Davidson going at it, along with James Ellison. Sanders going to try and make a pass to the inside of Davidson. Sanders trying to do a recovery right there. The 16 got by the 51. He was able to cut a couple tenths off. So hope is still there, although not much of it for Sanford to run Martin down. But Martin has a clear track ahead of him. He can just focus forward and just try and not screw this thing up, and this victory will be his, but it never is over. 4 laps to go here at Darlington, and the gap between Martin and Sanford has grown even more. Right there you see Sanford, just a small red dot in the camera shot. Martin growing his lead over almost 2 whole seconds over Sanford, and throughout the classic battles we've seen between these two, Sanford's hope of running down the 54 is getting even slimmer. 3 laps to go now. We'll see how big the margin is this time. It is over 2 seconds now. And Sanford, who has already finished runner-up twice this season, is eyeing down a 3rd one. And with only 3 laps remaining, even if we got a yellow, it would end the race. Sanford has to just ride these last 2.5 laps out. As here comes Martin to meet the popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go here in this second Crown Jewel race of season number 4. He does have the lap car Benedict Murdo in the distance, but I think he's too far ahead for him to worry about. Meanwhile, behind these guys, Sanders in 3rd, Ellison 4th, Davidson in 5th, and you got this battling right here within the top 10. Robinson's been able to gain a few more spots. He's up to the rear of Sabre Fox right there, but he's got a bunch of hungry cars willing to overtake him. But in the meantime, Martin, off turn number 4, sees the white flag. Just a little over a mile left to go before he can finally taste a win. It's definitely been an undesirable start to the season for this 54 bunch, not getting a single top 10 and being left outside the top 20 in points. But it looks like after 23 races of not being able to return to victory lane, it looks like that streak may end tonight. Here he comes, out of the front straightaway. The Season 1 champ is back on top again. Luke Martin becomes a Crown Jewel winner here at Darlington. From the pole to the win, Luke Martin is triumphant again. He's able to pick up his 4th career win here in the Speed Racing Series presented by Middle Road Energy. But this is the first time he's able to get it done in a Crown Jewel event. Like I was saying before the green flag of this race, this is a definite, noble way to cement your name in the history books forever. And tonight, Luke Martin has been able to get that done. And Martin Lamas Motorsports, it's been a few races since they've returned to victory lane themselves. That was back at Talladega last season with Cody Lamas. But tonight, it's the 54's turn. And Martin's going to meet up with his extra happy team and just shake off all the badness that they've endured these first 6 rounds. But tonight, something awesome finally goes their way. And with this being a Crown Jewel, a lot bigger paycheck is in store for them also. Anyway, people, here's your top 10 results for round number 7. Luke Martin, Charles Sanford finished 1-2 again. I believe that's the 4th or 5th time that's happened in SRS history. But victory is going to elude Sanford once again, as that's his 3rd runner-up finish this season. Lane Sanders gets P3, James Ellison P4, and a good top 5 run for Zayden Davidson in the 35. Cody Lamas gets 6th. Eric Sadler, 2nd top 10 in a row for him in 7th. Aiden Smith finishes 8th. Logan Cloud 9th. And how about the whale of a run by the 46 of Sabre Fox, finishing 10th? That's her 2nd top 10 finish in her career. Well, that's going to close out our broadcast here from Darlington Raceway, folks. It was a more tamer race for Darlington standards, but still hope it was an enjoyable one for you guys. Next up, for round number 8, we go to Charlotte Motor Speedway over in North Carolina. Crazy things have happened there before, so we definitely encourage you to tune into that one. Here's your full race results and your point standings following round number 7. Congrats one more time to Luke Martin on the win tonight, becoming the first guy to win in every season of competition in the SRS. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys again at Charlotte.